What did he say in it?
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Friday Night Shit Show.
Oh my God! What happened to the disclaimers?
I'm gonna show the other stuff after you are introduced because I got another one I'm gonna play. Because tonight I've got two things. One's got Alex Jones talking, so I'm gonna play a special one in front of him. And then what's the other guy's name? Let me look real quick. That's the wrong one. Tommy Robinson, do you know him?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to play another disclosure, a special one. Remember, I think you sent me the link before, and I've had it copied and ready to use. So I'm going to play that one right before that, before I show those two videos. So we'll go ahead and do this now. The opinions you're about to hear on this show are strictly those of the panel.
The following program is rated TV MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
There. Okay. So now we're ready for our normal stuff. But I just want to make sure you're doing okay and everything, and say hi to everybody that's out there from X and from Rumble. Hello, hello. And from YouTube, if anybody's out there. So I just want to say hi to everybody. Hi, Jackie. Thank you for stopping in. Hi, Six Nations. Nice to see you here. Soy Base, Jeremy. Moo to you too. Diesel Dave, hi. Thank you. I'm glad you're here. Hi, Crazy. Nice to see you again. It's been a while. That's okay. Hello, Hardwicky. How are you doing? Haven't seen you in a little while either, but it's nice to see you. And let's see what Six Nations posted. Tommy got busted again, and they got him under some terrorism BS. Yeah, I'm going to show that later in the show, and I'm going to put a special disclaimer for that stuff too. So hopefully I won't be gone tomorrow. I don't want to be gone. I like being here. Hi, Nate or Nat. Nice for you to show up. Nice to see you. But before I get started, because I'm going to do a massive dick head award tonight too. So I'm going to come up with another award because I saw a meme today on X that I just love, and I'm going to put it out here tonight. And I told the guy, I'm going to share your meme because it was really funny. So I'm going to share that. So I got a few funny things that I want to start off with first, to lighten the mood up a little bit. So we'll see how this goes. But oh my God, I hate this thing. It's like upside down or something. Let's see, is this one it? I don't think so. Let me go the other way. Plus, my nose won't stop running. Oh, there it is. Here's the first one. I'm going to play this video. I don't know if anybody's seen it. Let me pause it. Get it ready. I saw this the other day on TikTok. And the reason I saw it is because somebody sent me a different video, the second one I'm going to play. So I looked this one up to play it because I just thought I just wanted everybody to see this, because this is just going to show you what a wonderful person is going to do something with this person. So I think it's great. So let's watch.
I've had people ask, what would you have for lunch? What would you have them serve you for lunch if you got to go to the White House and have lunch with Trump, or just if you got to have lunch with Trump in general, and they let you pick?
I will pick McDonald's because McDonald's is always the best. It's on top, and Donald Trump loves McDonald's. I'm pretty sure.
You love McDonald's too. So McDonald's, out of everything, you would pick McDonald's.
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Big Mac, extra Big Mac sauce, extra pickles. Some good right there.
Good enough for me.
Oh, he's so precious. So I saw that, and then I wanted to find out if Trump replied to him, and so I was able to find the reply. And I want to play that for everyone. I thought it was so good. It was Laura Loomer is the one who posted it, so I was able to get it. But I want everybody to see this. It's a special thing just for him. So watch. This is great. This shows you why I love Trump so much.
Justin, you are the best looking guy, and I got your message.
On this one. Have lunch, the White House with Donald Trump.
So when you're better, which will be very soon, you're going to come to the White House, and I'm going to be with you, and we're going to spend a lot of time together. We're going to talk about the history of the White House and even the history of our government, the history of our country, because I know you like that. But we're going to have a good time. We're going to have lunch, and you're going to bring your friends and your parents, and it's going to be something special. So get better quickly, because I really want to spend some time with you. Take care. Thanks, Justin.
Isn't that sweet? Oh, this melts my heart. I told you I was a big Ben Carson guy. Okay, that's who I loved. I just loved everything he said. I thought he was such a gentleman. I just loved him. I thought he was great. I just wanted to give him and his wife a great big old hug because he's just so cute and sweet. He's just so kind. At least that's how he came across to me. But then when he didn't, get the nod and it was Trump, I was like, because not because I didn't think he was going to be good at it, just because he was a businessman. So that was a good thing. It was just that he was so, over the top. You know what I mean? So that was kind of like, I didn't know if I was going to like it or not. But I wouldn't not vote for Trump and ruin my country because I hate him. You know what I mean? I'm not that stupid. I've got some brains, but I started paying more attention to him. It's trying to, watching videos and just watching interviews with him and stuff, trying to see, what other people, why they were so enamored by him. And then I saw that one video where he is with, I think it was on Veterans Day, and he was walking along and it was all these veterans, shaking hands and stuff with him. When he got down to he had his wife, Melania, was following behind him, and he sees a woman and her husband standing next to her, and he had this hat on, and I think he had a jacket on and stuff, but he had those claw hands because he had no arms. Okay.
Right.
So when Trump got to him and his wife, he took her hand and he patted her hand and stuff and talked to her. And then he looked at the husband and he said, he put his hand up like he was saluting him. Oh, it just melts my heart every time I was thinking about it. And Trump reached out and touched him on the face. I just thought that right there got me hooked on him, because I was like, he's got true compassion for our soldiers, So I just loved him because of that. So that's why I'm adamant that we want someone that loves us, the people of America, as much as he loves this country. And he sacrificed so much. He didn't take a paycheck, the whole 4 years he was in there. He donated to charity. And the first 2 years, he was constantly pushing to close the border. And they had rapid DNA tests for people who would come over the border with kids to make sure that they were a parent or aunt, they were related in some way. And they stopped doing that under this administration. That was a big show with, I'm trying to remember, Dr. Phil, and stuff like that. So just little things like that. I just really, really liked him. Here, let me share this real quick. Yeah, see, I was the same way. I didn't know what to think about him because, he was a person on TV. He wasn't, I don't know. I didn't know whether or not he would do it, but I thought he did a really good job his first term because he did most of it by himself. You couldn't get anybody to back him when it came to making any laws. They said they were going to get all the people running for office, said they're going to get rid of, Obamacare, and they were going to do all this stuff, and they just dragged their feet. And I was like, I hate all these rhinos. I just can't stand them. So that's when I started paying more attention to who was saying what, and
Exactly.
trying to make sure I remembered who was for Trump and who wasn't. So I just really, it's depressing is what it is when you realize how many scumbags that we have up there that won't do the job that they said they were going to do for us, and I see all the people hurting from, not being able to pay their bills, and veterans especially having to sit and wait 6 months to get into the eye doctor, and 6 months or 7 months to get to a regular doctor. Now they could go into a fast clinic or whatever, those small clinics, but then they had to pay out of pocket, stuff like that. And I just think it's terrible the way that we treat our veterans in the country. But I think Trump treats every veteran I've ever seen that I've talked to said they loved him, that he was always very personable with them, and that they trust him, and they think he's do a good job. And then we have a president now that said to our troops when they were saying, well, we can't afford to pay our bills, we're not making enough money, we're eating peanut butter and jelly for dinner, and he said, well, get on food stamps. That was what he said. I haven't liked him since. I've absolutely despised this man after he said that to our veterans. They'll send all this money to all these countries that say death to America, but they won't give more money to our veterans. I just irks me so bad. I just have a hard time with that.
Well, yeah.
I just think that's terrible. And then I wanted to share a couple of other things that to me proves my point about why I like him so much. And if all these people like him, then I guess I'm in pretty good company. So here's another one I want to share.
Donald Trump is what Americans love. Donald Trump is what Americans aspire to be. Rich, powerful, do what you want to do, say what you want to say, be how you want to be. That's kind of been like the American dream. So he looks like a boss to everybody. And Americans love to have a boss. So, that's his appeal to me.
Okay, before we go any farther, I just want to say I worked with him on a movie. So that's all.
Ooh.
Picking the arm up. Kevin Holland shared a moment with Donald Trump and Dana White.
If I'm voting for Trump, so what somebody's going to do about it?
I don't think anybody. I mean, I'm gonna disagree with you.
Oh yeah, but I'm going to talk about so what?
Yeah, does it make you feel weird that people?
So what?
Do people? Why does it people care about your opinion? So is that weird to you that people freak out about your opinion?
They believe I have a lot of followers, this and that, but this is my opinion. This is what I believe. Am I going to say, yeah, man, let's go for cops killing? No. Okay, but if I like Donald Trump and I want to vote for him, I'm going to do it. So what? What are you going to do? Shoot me, beat me up? No, I don't think so.
Come up here, Tommy the Hitman. We love Tommy. I won so much money betting on this guy. He was brutal. We love that. Look at him. He still looks good. He still looks good. There's a right hand. Instinct, O'Gell. He's just hitting a big right.
Wow.
That's it.
Back in the glorious 80s, Thomas Hearns' blood-chilling stick.
No matter what trying to bring him down, continue to push forward, keep getting back up. He's always ready for the fight. 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 Love that.
Antonio Brown. He is a one-man working crew.
Wow. That was awesome. I didn't see that before. But see, all these people can't be full of shit.
Yeah, but what's so funny is it's nothing new because we're old. Well, I'll say me. I don't know about you. You're a young woman, but I remember Trump in the 70s. I remember Trump in the 80s. Everyone was hanging. Trump was the man, and then he really
I
boomed
never
in the
really
80s.
noticed him until he had that show. You're
Oh no,
fired.
I've known him in the 70s. I knew him in the 80s and 90s. Yeah, and the whole like the 2000s was the whole like I think it was 2001. I don't know when it started, but again, I've known Trump for a very very long time.
Mhm.
He was on Donahue. He was on Oprah back when Donahue. You know, and
Yeah,
then
but I
Oprah,
never
when she
watched
started.
any of that stuff. I never watched Donahue.
Well, I never watched it. I never watched it either. But I just
My
I
mom
knew that.
did. She watched a lot of it.
I read the papers. Well, I read the papers a lot. I read the paper. I read the, and that's how I knew it. And then I basically knew because again, the reason I did know it is that sometimes, because for the longest time, my mother and father did not have a video recorder, and when they did, my mother watched her soap operas, and she would record them, and she would watch them later on. So then. Sometimes she sometimes she said you gotta record earlier, so we would record other shows on top of those shows, and sometimes the show would be preempted with a news article or something hanging up, so she'd be really pissed off keying home, and it was like it's this show again or this guy moved it around, blah, blah, because we were just doing that. But so then basically it got to the point where every night she'd watch she called them novelas because that's what they call them, soap operas, and then going, oh god, we're there sitting there eating, and
Which soap operas did your mom watch?
Days of Our Lives, Another World.
Yeah, my mom watched Days of Our Lives.
Yes, and then oh god,
Marlena and
John
or something.
yes. Going, oh shit.
Yeah.
So then,
loved that show.
Yeah, and then we because again we had one TV and one VCR, and then in the very very end of that era, I think it was like late 80s, we had finally had two TVs. That my mother had her own dedicated TV in her craft room where the VCR was. But we always had a backup because the shows would go on ABC and NBC, and they moved it around. So that's why she got two televisions, because they were all at the same time. How can I mix my shows? It's just like crazy.
No, I've never seen any of those. If you can find those, will you share them in Discord so I can watch them? I'm interested in seeing.
Yeah, Trump.
I've seen Trump on Saturday Night Live. He was funny. He was doing something about him going to be running for president, and I was like, holy shit balls, couldn't believe it. And it was really good. But I'm talking about I saw these on YouTube. I didn't see him when they were doing
when the internet started. He was one of the first internet stars. He came out and was giving a lot of stuff. His Pizza Hut, his McTV. He's done McDonald's commercials. Again, like Home Alone 2, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, The Nanny. Yeah, he was always on there doing stuff. He was in a movie with Whoopi Goldberg, for Christ's sake. He did a favor for her.
I never.
And then Lisa and the last was like, I think it was 2011 or 2013. He was on The View, and they were like giving him kisses with Joy Behar and all that stuff. And then now they're just like,
I never watched one episode of The View.
I never watch it either.
I've never been interested in watching.
I don't watch it. I just know of it because everyone talks about it, because it's just like it's in the zeitgeist of.
I didn't know anyone that watched it, so it must have been a city thing or something. Because when I moved to New Orleans, I just didn't see a lot of people that watched a lot of television. We spend a lot of time, out and about doing stuff outside. You're
one of those folks.
Well, there was lots of festivals. There was always something, always something going on. And people always would want to stay with me because they would want to go to the festival or to Jazz Fest or to a parade, or down to the quarter. And I would take them down there.
Yeah. My thing outside, I would go outside for two reasons: to go to the mall or go to the library. I would spend, I would say, 90% of my free time at the library, and then the 10% at the mall. Go to the movie or go to the bookstore. It's always books. It was always books. Walden's books. I would go there, and then Sam Goody for music, and then that'd be it. And then when I got a car, I decided to get in town, and I would drive 3 hours to San Antonio and go to the music store there.
Yeah,
I didn't have anything in Laredo.
There was so much to do in down when I lived down there, because all around you there was swamp tours, there was all kinds of cool tours, and people would call and I would say my favorite tour. They asked me which one it was. I go, the cemetery tour is pretty cool. If you haven't done it, because of the why they bury people above the ground, you know, in these little things. And what everyone gets grossed out when I'm telling them about it is the fact that they had these mausoleums and they'd have these crypts, and then you'd have the name labels, you know, whatever their name was in this engraven thing and the slot at the top, right? Well,
Right.
after 100 years, the bottom slot, they take the name out and then they'd pull this little thing out and the bones and stuff would fall into the ground underneath where they would go in the incinerator. And then they do the same thing with each person and drop them. So now there's a space at the top for the next person. If you buy a plot up in there, it's good for, I think it's 100 years or something like that. I don't know how many years, depending on which one they purchase, I guess. So you'd be buried above ground type thing. But usually by that time, there's no one left that's coming to see you at the grave sites, you know. So it's kind of sad. But one of my other favorite tours is the Segway tour. That's a lot of fun. We get to ride a Segway around town and go to different pubs and maybe do a shot or whatever, you know. It's fun. And then there's the swamp tours, you know, the scary stuff where they take you on the vampire tours to show you around where supposed vampires and all that stuff. I'm talking about it now because, you know, Halloween is like huge down there. They have one of the best haunted houses of all time. It's so big. They have cars in there parked like a street, you know, so it looks like you're going through a street and zombies are coming for you. So it's awesome. And it smells like you could smell leaves and dirt, you know. It's just a genius. It just, you could tell it's a lot of talented people down there. And it's a great place to go. If you ever want to go on a vacation down there, to go down there and check it out. There's so much to do, so much to see. It's freaking awesome. But this next thing I saw, I heard people talking about it because remember, Camilla had some kind of like fundraiser and Eminem came.
Oh dear.
Right? Okay, and I didn't see it. And everybody was like, "Oh, it was lame. It was this, that, and the other." But then this came across my timeline, and it was Tom McDonald. And he made a video, I guess, promoting his new albums that were coming out. But it was so funny because I guess this is his girlfriend. That's his producer or whatever. One of his, you know, like helps him sell his albums and stuff. And they've been together for I don't know how long, quite a few years. But this is their little rendition of what happened at the Democratic convention, I guess, thing. Something that he put at. I thought it was hilarious. So here, I'll watch it. Make sure it's turned up all the way. This is really funny. I don't know if anybody saw his performance, but it must have been really, really stupid for them to do this.
I'm sorry, them. I never meant to hurt you. Put your pride flags high, tin walls. It's coming out the closet. One more time.
Take that job for me. I don't care about the economy. I'm a billionaire, so if you're me, it don't matter who wins the presidency.
I'm not afraid. I'm holding hands with illegal aliens and a pregnant man.
We're losing. We're stupid.
Yo, Kamala, Tim, come up here for this one. Two idiots going around me outside, round me outside, round me outside.
Oh, I just loved it. I thought it was so funny, and they're adorable, aren't they? Adorable.
Who's the girl?
His girlfriend. She's just wearing a wig, like you pretend to be Eminem, I guess.
That's
but
nice.
yeah, she's like his record producer or something, because you know he's independent. Everything he does, they don't have a big.
I have to thank Tom McDonald for my relationship.
Oh, one of his songs is the reason why you met her?
Theoretically, what happened is, the way that it happened is, of course, I know Nerderotic. We know Gary. And Gary is how I met Vets Talking. Now, her path was, she likes Tom McDonald. And Vets Talking did a reaction to a Tom McDonald video. she was there. She liked it. She started watching the show. So then that's where I met her on that show. So she was watching the Vets Talking Show because they did the Tom McDonald video. So she buys all Tom McDonald merchandise. So she's a Tom McDonald freak.
I never heard of him.
don't.
I had never heard of him, and I was in a space, and there's a gentleman named Haas in there, and it's a space. Him and American were the very first space I ever went in. Okay, and I just ever since then, that was way back when spaces first started. There might have been me, Haas, and like three other people, the whole 2 hours or whatever. We were all in there talking about wrestling, and you know, I was just listening to old stories, and them two guys made me laugh because they're like two good old country boys, and I just love them, and I still go to their spaces today. I still think they're funny, they're gentlemen, and everybody raises their hand. I just love it. I think they're great, and Haas has the best music ever. He has such good taste in music. I've heard so many songs I never heard of that I've learned from him, and I've put them in my my repertoire of music or whatever. So, and it's all ranges too. It's like hip hop, and he's the one that played a Tom McDonald in one of the spaces. Like, who is this guy? They're like, yeah, he's really cool. You need to listen to him. So I was like, and these guys are like, I don't know, in their 70s, maybe. I don't know how old they are, but they were a lot of fun, and they just make me laugh, and they're great people, good Americans. But I just wanted to share that because I just thought, you know. I just think it's funny as shit to see all these people that aren't afraid to show that they support Trump, you know, because you got so many, especially after he's been shot. You already know that you got a target on your forehead if you back Trump. Everybody hates you. You're a Nazi. You're a whatever they come up with, whatever this week, you know. It's just sad to me. But that's why I wanted you to see that stuff. But I think this is the next. Oh yeah, this is the meme. I just saw this on my timeline and I just loved it. And I went to the guy that put it out and I said, hey, I'm going to show this on my show. But he's so funny. His name's Hack. And he posted this hack proof. Raise your hand if your husband has banged the nanny.
Oh no.
And I saw that. I was like, holy shit, that is so funny. And then I posted under, as you can see, I put a sexy nanny as my response, and that's what I told him. But I thought this was like, to me, was really, really funny shit. I mean,
oh my!
So anybody here, I'm going to share. I'm going to see if I can. Yeah, I'm going to.
You're going to show the bottom one? Not kidding.
No, I'm going to share this.
Yeah. I know.
Post so that.
Oh, you put it.
Yeah, I put. That's what I posted. Replied to him because I thought it was funny.
Oh, my.
He deserved a reply. But I'm going to share his hacks. Comes up with some really funny memes and stuff. His posts are hilarious. He makes fun of everybody, which is what you should have the right to do, right? In America, if you can't laugh at yourself, then oh well. But that's his ex. So if you want to go check him out, he's a good follow. He's a lot of fun. He's funny. Okay, now let me see what the next thing was. I'm trying to stay in order, which is not easy for me. Let's see. I think it's this one. Oh, God.
You're good to stay in order.
Click on the... Oh, here's another one. Yeah, this is a good one, too. This is something I wanted to share before, and I didn't. Let me push pause.
Oh, yeah. This is the
Bronx barber tells Trump that his energy bills went from $2,100 to $15,000 since the Biden-Harris administration took over. Yeah, I want you to listen to this.
God.
Listen to this guy. That is, and you're not supposed to be pissed off about that? How are you supposed to live?
My issue was more the energy. I've been paying $2,100 since I first opened up. In the last 7 months, it shot up to $15,000.
What?
My issue.
You see Trump's reaction? What? And I think that's in New York. That's so crazy. That is a shit ton of money. I mean, I don't know how anybody's supposed to afford that. You know, I can't afford it. I know, but before I I want to present an award tonight. I'm going to present my Dickhead Award again. But I want to share. I'm going to make sure I can pick the right one. Let's see. It's
there's so many to choose from.
Yeah, there it is. Okay. I think I can find it now. So let me cancel that. I'm going to play the thing first. Okay, this guy definitely wins that award. When I saw this, I was like, guy is disgusting.
I think I know who it is, right?
U.S. pilot who kidnapped a 9-year-old girl outside of Harrods claims he was trying to keep her safe.
What?
But listen to this. An American pilot accused of kidnapping, drugging, and sexually assaulting a 9-year-old French girl told a court that his intention was to keep her safe and that absolutely regrets not calling the police sooner. Robert Prusak, 57, is said to have had approached the girl outside of Harrods. I guess that's a big hotel.
No, it's a shopping center.
Oh, a shopping center? Okay. It's all right. I've never been over
Macy's.
there.
Macy's. It's like a Macy's in England.
Okay. After she became separated from her family during their holiday in London. It's alleged that he then took his victim to his hotel apartment and drugged her before taking her back to Hyde Park, where he had allegedly touched her chest and stomach and looked inside her trousers. The prosecutor described the case to jurors as every parent's worst nightmare. He denies kidnapping, drugging, and assaulting the girl who cannot be named for legal reasons. But this guy is scum. And this is one reason why I think so many people do not want Trump back in the White House, because he's already said that he's going to release the Epstein list. And there's two young girls' videos that I shared a couple of shows back of the girls that said they're going to vote for Trump. They were both abused by people on the Epstein list. So they're voting for Trump because they want him to release the list, which I hope he does. There's so many reasons why so many people way high up, because all these people have to be huge people. I mean, in government or with big corporations or something, because there's no other reason why it would all be hush hush and nobody's heard of shit. And all the victims are too afraid to tell anyone, apparently, because they're afraid they won't make it or their families would be hurt. So
if he was in America, all he'd do is claim to be an illegal alien. They'd let him off.
Yeah, I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean, it's terrible to think that way, but that's a fact almost. It's sad, but I want to see these people all.
But that is the next step, because if you remember with the whole gay agenda of getting married and all that stuff, it was like love is love, my friend. Love is love, and then that happened. Then it's all the trans stuff. And then,
but see, I have lots of gay friends and lesbian friends, and all of them think this whole trans shit is bullshit. I've done shows and I've lost viewers because I've done shows for the trans people, not the trans, but the with real transgenders on there that went through all the therapy, did all that stuff. It took years. They didn't even get medicine until they had to live that way for over a year.
Right.
Okay. While they're going to therapy, and they themselves said that they don't believe that a child should be able to transition. They're not old enough. Exactly. They're not even haven't even gone through puberty yet.
Correct.
And they have been infiltrated. Basically, they took these people on the left wanted to destroy so many kids and stop them from having kids or whatever the reason behind it. I have no idea because I'm not one of them. They took over the gay movement, all the work that the gays did to become free enough to be able to go public with their lovers or their husbands or wives or whatever, their lifestyle. And then they are taken over basically and make everyone think that all gays and lesbians are like that. They're not. These people are sick. Okay. These are people like that used to do horrible, treatment and stuff to the Jews when they're in the camps. Mm-hmm. That's what kind of mentality the people are pushing this on our kids in schools and shit like that. They're not normal. And we need to clean house. We need to get rid of all these people that want to do stuff like that. Anything like that to a kid. If a kid can't buy cigarettes, then why can they chop their body parts off? It just doesn't. it's sick. I mean, it's Frankenstein. You know, it's ridiculous. You know, a child and a parent, like right now in California, a parent who's told their 12-year-old wants to transgender and wants to take hormones and cut off their genitals, okay, and the parents say no, guess what? They take your kid from you. That's communism. That's not freedom that our forefathers wanted us to have when they fought to give us freedom in America and started our country. You know, it's disgusting. And just think about it. Almost in less than 4 years, they've almost turned our whole country into California. At least that's what their goal was.
Yep.
And because of people like us that are fighting, I've gotten my channel taken down for weeks at a time. I've had to take classes on there, their video class or whatever, to say that I'm not a Nazi, I guess, basically, because they hate anyone that says pedophile. They want you to say minor attracted persons, shit like that, which I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying it this time. But, you know, it's sick that a company, because they want you to put stuff on here, but they don't want you to say anything of any caliber. They don't want you telling people the truth or your point of view, because I believe that that's wrong to do that to kids, but they think it's okay because I shouldn't tell people about it. You know, it's none of my business to stay out of it. You know, I just think it's disgusting, and I just have a hard time with any of that stuff. But that guy I hope he burns in hell. I mean, I really do. Yeah. And that's terrible. He damaged a 9-year-old girl for the rest of her life. She's never going to be a 9-year-old girl anymore.
Correct.
You know, she's never going to be able to look at anyone or any man or even her own father the same way now. Okay, just think about that. That's disgusting. And he needs to have his life taken away, because basically he took her life away. And who knows how many others. Okay, but getting this is not enough. When you've taken a child's life, basically. He didn't kill her. He took her innocence away. Yep. So you can never, ever get that back. She can never be a kid again. It's disgusting and repulsive. But that's I just wanted you guys to know that he won that award and he deserved it big time and more.
Yeah, there were so many people that deserve that award today, especially, well, not as atrocious as that, but pretty much atrocious. Keith Olbermann and his insane rant against Elon Musk to have him arrested and deported immediately is insane. He's calling for the government to get rid of somebody because he doesn't like them. That's insane. Mm-hmm. But and Kamala Harris, what she did to Trump, also as an official act, calling Trump a fascist, was insane too. So those, again, you could be dickheads all the time, but that one took the cake because kids. Hurting kids like that is unconscionable.
But all of it goes together. You know, this gentleman kidnapped a kid and abused her. Okay, they got her back, thank God, and she wasn't killed or anything. But what he did to her changed her life forever. Right, as a child, took her innocence away. But what these people are doing to our kids in our own schools is the same thing. You know what I mean? When you get a kid that's 11 or 12 years old that want to take hormones and cut off their penis or their breasts, you know what I mean? They're never going to be that kid again. They're damaged. They're gone. You know, it's not the same. They can never be the same. And because somebody told them, well, because you like to wear pink, or because you like Barbie dolls, or because you like that toy, or you like this music, you want to be the opposite gender. I was a tomboy. I loved G.I. Joe and Little Army Men, and I slingshots, and I did all that shit. And I wore my hair up in a ponytail, and I wore a flannel shirt or a T-shirt and jeans. That's what I wore. I didn't care about makeup and none of that shit. And I'm thankful I had a mom that, you know, just let me be myself. You know, she didn't freak out and get me on meds, or I don't know. It's just pitiful. The whole thing is messed up. But this next thing is I wanted to share, because when I saw it, I was like, you got to be kidding, but it's great. I think it's great news, but it's CNN. So it's shocking. But I just thought this would make a lot of people happy if they saw it. So I don't know if you saw it. Did you?
Not that's word.
CNN are now preparing their audience for the possibility of Trump winning the popular vote. Part of my job is to warn our viewers on either side of the aisle of an event that may occur that they don't necessarily like, and Donald Trump winning the popular vote could absolutely happen. You might as well wrap your minds around it now, folks, if you don't like Donald Trump. And then they said, it sounds like blue voters are being programmed to expect a historic and stunning Donald Trump landslide victory. So I wanted to share this, CNN. Oh, God.
All right. I went back to the time machine to see where were the past two races at this point in the campaign. Look, Harris in the average poll right now is up by 1, well within the margin of error. You go back 4 years ago, Joe Biden was well ahead of Donald Trump in the national popular vote polls. He was up by 9. Even Hillary Clinton was up by 6 points. So now Donald Trump's in a position he really hasn't been before at this point in the campaign, where he could truly compete, and we can truly say that the popular vote at this point is way too close to call. Of course, this is only going back 8 years. I wanted to jump even further back in my time machine to get an understanding. Hey, I haven't heard about a Republican potentially winning the popular vote in a while. And it turns out a Republican winning the popular vote, it hasn't happened since 2004 in George W. Bush defeating John Kerry. And that's only the one time that it has happened. In fact, you have to go all the way back to 1988 to find another one, when it was George W. Bush's father, George H.W. Bush, winning the popular vote over Michael Dukakis. So the fact that the polls right now are so close, John, the fact that Donald Trump has a legitimate shot of winning the popular vote is something I think a lot of folks, including in my line of work, really didn't think could possibly happen when Donald Trump was running last time around. He could make history, not just for Donald Trump, for a Republican candidate as well.
Now, there are some reasons for this, and I think Democrats' heads are all exploding out there watching this right now. There are some reasons for this, which you're going to explain, but also begin to raise the possibility that we could see the reverse. We could see the reverse of things we've seen, where a Republican wins the popular vote, but there's a chance for the Democrat to win the electoral college.
Yeah, part of my job is to warn our viewers on either side of the aisle of an event that may occur that they don't necessarily like. And Donald Trump winning the popular vote could absolutely happen. You might as well wrap your minds around it now, folks, if you don't like Donald Trump. But
I was really shocked that something like that, actual truth, came out on CNN. Remember, everybody called it Communist News Network.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I was just really surprised.
Well,
when
they were bringing
that.
Stelter back, because again, the thing is that CNN secretly does want Trump back, because the ratings are tanking, and they're going to be the anti. They're going to be again. I want a press that's going to pressure, legitimately question everything, but not be a roadblock to real progress going to happen. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I laughed a lot. Sorry, my eyes are watering, but because my allergies, it's been really bad the last few days.
Oh no!
But I just thought, God, that was so funny when I watched it. I was like, you got to be kidding me. But this is something that I thought was important that we watched, because they have talked about it, and I have seen a few people post about it, and a few people talk about it on the news. But I wanted to share it with everybody. Anyways, let me see if I can turn this up. There we go. Here we go. I don't know how to, is it right here big? Yeah, full screen. There we go. It's big.
Thank everybody for Donald Trump, really, for the opportunity to be able to say my daughter's story. I know everybody knows somebody that was like her. She was 12. She was going to be a 7th grader. Preteens, they think they're invincible, and she was just being a child, and due to the Biden-Harris policies we have here are why she's not here anymore. She was taken from her vulnerability, and they made her a target and ran with that, and now I will forever be a grieving mother, and my son will forever be a grieving brother who will no longer get to grow up with his sister. Kamala Harris has never reached out to me, just even as a human, to give her condolences as a humane person running this country. think it's very sad that she can't even just give me an open apology, sincere apology. She's attempted to apologize to me just days before this election, and I find it very inconvenient and a convenience for her. I appreciate everything Donald Trump, Senator Ted Cruz has done for me. They've been a tremendous amount of help for me and my family during this incredibly hard journey for me. I want to thank everybody for listening to my words. Thank you.
Oh, it's heartbreaking
Yeah.
about what happened to her daughter. And nobody wanted to talk about it. You know what I mean? It's like, and then what's sad that was when you found out that this guy had already done crimes like this and they just put him right back out on the street.
Right.
That's like when a person drinks and drives and they have an accident. This time they didn't kill anyone, right? But they wrecked their car, wrecked a couple other people's cars, but nobody died. So they get a slap on the wrist and they pay a fine because they're impaired. But they willingly did this to become impaired.
But the thing is that they're doing this. They even have migrants who are alcoholics who get into wreck, kill somebody, and they still don't do anything. It's only to American citizens. So they will punish the American people. They'll let the migrants go off scot-free, and then they will give the migrants $1,000 or $5,000 on the card. And then they'll say to poor East Palestine, poor people in Helene and Milton and Maui, here's your $700 check. Have a nice day. But you don't qualify because you don't have any paperwork because your paperwork's now destroyed or burned or
slid down the mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
It is.
Sad. But that's another reason why I think so many people are starting to turn towards Trump, because they realize how long can we sustain this flow into our country when we can't even take care of our own people. And even though we have 30 million people coming over the border, and I'd say 20%, 25% of them are criminals because they emptied out their jails, they emptied out their crazy houses, their sane asylums, everything, just said, get out of here, even though we're sending them aid. See, remember Trump shut all that off. He said, if we're sending you aid and you're still sending us your drag, well, guess what? We're not giving you any more aid. And if that money's important to them, they'll start keeping their own and taking care of them themselves. Why should we have to take care of them? We don't owe them a thing. We don't owe any of these people a thing, but we do owe American citizens that were born here, that worked here their whole lives and paid taxes or sacrificed lives and limb to save our country from invasion and stuff by joining our military. Those to me are important reasons to save your taxes, and that's who the money should be spent on first. And
the last 4 years have been horrific for me.
Yeah, how can people say me saying MAGA, make America great again, is racist? How is that? I'm not saying make whites better or anything. I'm saying America. It means everybody that was born and raised in this country deserves to be first before the Iranians that wave their flags and say death to America, or the people in Ukraine, which we didn't, it has nothing to do with us. I don't know a single person that lives in this country that's going to pack their shit and move to Ukraine and reap the rewards of the billions of dollars that we've sent over there. None. And you think they're going to pay us one dime back? No. None of these countries pay us a dime. They don't give a squat. But we bend over backward for all these people. We're their open checkbook. Here, just take what you want out of my bag. You can have all the money you want. Just dump it on your table. Have a good time. See you later. On the sweat of all of us, us working our ass off, missing our families, taking trips, whatever we're having to do, we're missing out because we're having to work extra time to pay for these people, for them to give our money to other countries. And we have no say in it. It's like, and we just had a bunch of disasters. Didn't even have enough money to help these people. And if it hadn't been for people getting in their helicopters and trucks and their chainsaws and taking it in there themselves, a lot more people would have died. died of dehydration because they couldn't leave and go anywhere to get water or food. It's just, it's disgusting. It just makes me so angry. All of this stuff. Sorry to be such a grim person, but it's just important. I feel that people should see it. Now, I'm going to show this disclaimer again. Here we go. Here. No, I got that from YouTube, so I hope I don't get in trouble for music on it, because it says to use for that. So that's what I did. So I played that, and now I'm going to play this one thing from Alex Jones, and the other one's about Tommy Robinson. So I want to play these two things. They're very important, I think. So here we go. Let's go with the big one first. Okay. It says, massive breaking news about RFK Jr. exposing Harris's plot to declare martial law and order on the U.S. military to kill American protesters. After all the stuff they've been saying about you're going to accept the vote, blah, 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 you know what I mean? So I don't know what they got planned. And they're still got people locked up from January 6th. So think that they won't do this is hard to think.
As you know, the Democrat deep state always accuses you of what they themselves are doing or planning to do. Now, finally, RFK Jr. came out today, and it's gone viral, and pointed out what I've been harping on for a month that almost no one else is covering. Mm-hmm. Whoever's running the Harris-Biden administration, there was a coup. They removed Biden. It's totally illegal. Signed an executive order over a month ago that then the DOD responded to and put out DOD Manual 5240.01 for the first time in history, preparing for civil unrest and shooting and killing demonstrators and how to take over society for civil unrest. They say that. That's martial law. And I've been screaming for 2 weeks since Harris and Biden and all their surrogates began to say Trump's going to call out the military and have martial law and kill Americans with no evidence. They say, oh, he says he can kill Americans. Never said that. They just make that up off a Supreme Court immunity ruling. It doesn't even say that. It's a total lie, a criminal lie. They're trying to get Trump killed. Now they say he loves Hitler, an old recycled lie. Now they say he didn't want to pay for a Hispanic veteran's funeral when he volunteered to pay for it, and that's all been debunked. This is crazy town. But the good news is RFK is very close to the president and is now talking to him about this. The president's about to be here with Rogan on Friday. I'm talking to Rogan about bringing this up. Rogan's aware of it. This is a big deal. This has never before been done. It says prepare for civil unrest and martial law and killing U.S. citizens. Now, I've been reporting on it for a month. Finally, Fox News reported on it last week. This is really going on. Every time I cover this, I see comments on X saying it's not true, even though I put links up to it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a game. You can go to the Department of Defense's website and type in 5240.01. This is up there. There's news articles about this. So again, they're blaming Trump for what they're preparing. They've got their surrogates like Carville saying armed uprising against Trump supporters and Trump. Raskin, one of their top strategists, says they're not going to accept a Trump win and not certified and have civil war conditions. These are desperate totalitarians. This is so incredibly dangerous. And now documents have come out that Harris has a plan once in office to kill Musk's control of X and Twitter. I mean, this is crazy. They're the ones acting like Hitler. They're the ones persecuting their political enemies. They're the ones surveilling us and censoring us and doing all of this. I mean, these people are wild totalitarians. I can't believe anybody is supporting them. But the poll showed Trump's widening his lead, and so they're now saying the election won't be decided for weeks. Raskin's already scheduled an event for 2 weeks after about America in crisis and what do we do with the chaos. So this is all scripted out, but exposing it can stop them. We start with Kamala was installed. It's illegal. We start with she's illegitimate. We point out they're the ones preparing martial law. What are they planning to trigger? False flags? But thank God this is starting to become a giant issue. We need all Trump supporters, little, big, small, it doesn't matter. And we need his surrogates, J.D. Vance and RFK Jr., who's helping Trump get his cabinet ready to really drain the swamp. This is a real revolution against tyranny, folks. This is 1776 Part 2. It's happening now. So get this report out to everyone you know. Share this information because they know this is their weak spot, so they're blaming Trump and the American people for it. And they want us to just sleepwalk into whatever crises they're preparing to stage or gin up to blame us for. It's very easy to extrapolate out where this is going. They've already said they won't accept a Trump win. Please, President Trump, get ahead of this. They're blaming you for something they're setting up and doing. This will unify America. You're not attacking the military. The military doesn't want to do this. You say, hey, you're blaming me for martial law and plans to kill people with no evidence, and then you're the one signing orders to do it? Imagine if Trump did this. I wouldn't support him. This is crazy. I mean, this is crazy. This stuff used to be secret for a long time. Now they've gone operational. It's not on some drawing board. They're getting ready. They're implementing it. They've given themselves this unconstitutional power. What is it they're planning? We better war game this. We better have a big discussion. This needs to be front and center. Please follow me here on X at Real Alex Jones. Please follow us on the new system we're launching, the Alex Jones Network, at AJN Live. And please spread the word about the broadcast. You're already doing it. We're reaching tens of millions of people a day. But this is an information war, and you aren't just critical. You're everything. Thank you so much. And pray for President Trump's safety and pray for peace in America and all of us that are populist conservatives and Christians and nationalists and capitalists. We want peace. We're winning intellectually. All of the world populists are getting elected. Globalists are getting voted out. Bill Gates has been criminally indicted in the Netherlands. Good stuff's happening. So any horrible violence comes, you know it's being staged. It's not from us. All right, share the report.
Wear a Trump t-shirt, put a sign on the lawn, wear a MAGA hat, and then if people confront you, say, yeah, that's right.
Elon Musk is absolutely right. We need to show our support for President Trump as a champion against the globalists, as the champion, by wearing his shirts out in public and not being ashamed. Because the majority of Americans, the number shows, support Trump, but they're still scared to say it. You will meet so many like-minded people when you wear President Trump shirts. We've got some great ones at thealexjonestore.com. But InfoWars shirts are recognized by patriots and tyrants alike as the symbol of the resistance. Old school, true rebels, true mavericks against tyranny. Now, when you go to thealexjonestore.com, there's amazing hoodies, ball caps, new designs getting added every few days, amazing t-shirts. But two of the shirts are marked up a little more than $25, $30 or so that you can really know you helped fundraise. And it's the classic InfoWars red on navy blue. And it is the Punisher shirt right here that everybody really loves because it's true. Rebellion to tyrants is obedience to God, 1776. So both of these shirts are our best sellers. I want to thank those of you that have supported. And I want to encourage those of you that haven't supported to get them both at thealexjonestore.com right now at this critical time. InfoWars can be shut down in just 21 days as the time I'm taping this. But your support of our sponsor will keep me on the air one way or another. But it takes funds to get all that set up, and it's happening right now. So now is the time of action. Go to thealexjonestore.com and get both these amazing shirts. Again, the Rebellion to Tyrants is Obedience to God shirt is one of the special fundraisers, and so is this classic InfoWars. Notice this is an XXL. It's baggy now. In just the last few months, I've been taking the Ultimate Sea Moss, and it's helped me lose all this weight. Find that as well and help keep us on there one way or another at thealexjonestore.com. Thanks for your support.
Well, I wanted to share that because I wanted you guys to see what he's having to do to make a living, since they've taken everything from him, basically, because he had to pay all that money from his civil suit. I didn't really follow all of that, but, he's still determined to share as much information as he can. And then Rudy Giuliani has now lost his home. He's having to give all his memorabilia and stuff away. He's supposed to give his home to somebody. I don't remember who it was, but he's having to give up everything because he fought to try to prove that 2020 was stolen. So what scares me, though, after listening to everything that he said, remember we had friends, lots of our friends on YouTube were at the rallies and at J6, remember? and they were videotaping. A lot of them were showing, hey, look, Antifa people are changing their clothes and putting on Trump weight clothes and stuff like that. So what scares me about this whole scenario that's coming forward is the fact that we might have people that are paid people from whatever group is trying to stop Trump, and they will dress up as Trump people.
Yeah, but what's going to happen? What I think is going to happen, because again, tonight, a lot of things have happened tonight. The most horrific thing was that Iran is being attacked by Israel, retaliation for their attacks. But it's coordinated because again, now Iran could launch attacks in America. They could declare martial law, but that's going to be bullshit. So
yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So I don't know which direction it's going to come from, but I want people to be ready and be prepared. Make sure you have lots of water, because you can go weeks. Honestly, you can go weeks without eating any food. You'll live, but you have to have water. You can only go about 4 days without water, and you will die of dehydration. And water is going to be the number one commodity. Now, everybody thinks, oh, I don't need bottled water because I have a sink, right? But what if they shut off all the water? Okay, so you have to be prepared to have your own water where you can put it in your car and take it with you, or in your backpack, or whatever you decide to do. But you need to have water. So please make sure you have enough water for a week or two. It's somewhere in your house. What's it going to hurt? You can use it next summer. Just try to be prepared. And I've been telling people also to have some money, some money available, 1s, 5s, 10s, and 20s. I was talking about this earlier with Crazy, because if they turn off the banks, your debit card is not going to work, right? How are you going to get money? So the best thing for you to do is to have cash on hand available to where you can take your money and still purchase a few things if they have cash only, because they won't be able to use their electronic devices either. If we have some pulse that they're going to blame on Russia, or who knows? I mean, I'm just saying, I feel better if you stay prepared up until election day. And to me, I am staying faithful until after the 26th, because the 26th is when Trump is supposed to be sentenced for his felonies or whatever, his conviction, right? So if they put him in prison, what's going to happen then? See what I mean? So there's a lot of ifs ahead of us, and we need to be diligent about taking care of our families and paying attention to what's going on around you. Don't believe just because somebody down the street screaming and hollering saying they're doing something. Make sure you know what you're doing. Don't go off half-cocked. Listen to more than one person. Don't just watch one channel on the news. Go to your different people that you talk to. If you have friends on Facebook, if you have friends on Instagram or YouTube or Rumble or X, any of these apps, people that you've been talking to for a while, you should trust them enough to say, hey, have you seen anything weird happening? If they say no, and say, okay, you get a chance to settle down. But I don't know. I just don't know. I don't trust it. I don't know who's all involved. You know what I mean? Is it just our government, or is there other governments here trying to do something? We don't know. But you do have control of what's happening in your home. Okay? There's nobody in there. It's just you and your family. So make sure that you have what you need for your family.
And the CIA.
Well,
in your case, CIA's there.
Okay, whatever. What I'm
just saying,
is,
you got Alexa right there.
I know. Don't say her name, because she'll start light up and start doing stuff.
Oh shit!
I didn't know about a lot of this stuff. Okay.
I know.
But the thing is that to try to be as safe as you can, and don't go up half-cocked, because when your emotions get involved, it can cause you to make a mistake that you normally wouldn't want to make. You know what I mean? So think about it. Think before you act. That's what I'm saying. Just do that. But then I wanted to show this next video. It's Tommy Robinson. I don't know if very many of you know who he is, but he's I think he's from England, right?
Yes.
Okay. And he's been very adamant about a lot of things, very political. And I just saw this come across my timeline that he'd been arrested and he's in jail. So, and his people are giving us up there. I think he's in prison or something. But I wanted you to see this video because I know you know who he is. I don't know if anyone else does. But you got to remember, just because it's overseas doesn't mean it's not going to affect us, okay? Try to keep your eyes and ears open for stuff that's going on. If you can hear about what's going on in China or Iran or Saudi Arabia or Sweden, or Norway, any of these, England, any of these places, Africa. I mean, I don't know a lot about a lot of it, but I know a lot of different people that do have friends from other countries, and they share information. So just try to keep an eye on what's going on in the world.
I have a follow-up. Play this and I have a follow-up afterward.
Mm-hmm. Well, this says on here, it says you can send money to his Give and Go for Save Tommy if you guys want to do that. I'll share this this whole story right here in the chat when I'm finished. It says he has relinquished his X account to admins so we can keep you informed and updated with news as when it breaks, as at his request. We can confirm that Tommy is now being held on reprimand until Monday, where he will appear at Woolwich Crown Court at 10 a.m. So I'm going to play this little thing and find out what he has to say. Here we go.
The world is watching, even more so now. You've just put it out to the entire globe. So, I contacted the court. I said I'm coming back. They know I'm coming back. Why else have I come back? I've come back from a court case. I've come back to stand with you on the 26th. But maybe they don't want me standing outside Parliament with you. Okay? This is your rallying cry. The fight is in our country, and the fight is on right now. Add my name to the hundreds of British men and women who have been put away for words on the internet. The tyrants are in power. If not now, then when? You know the decision I made to come back. I'm asking you, if you hadn't booked your train tickets, book your train tickets now. We want Keir Starmer to be looking out that window, because you know the intentions of all of his actions of locking everybody up is to put fear in you. Don't let him win. Don't let him win. Let him be watching live the hundreds of thousands of people who have gathered peacefully with smiles on their faces to send a message to the communist tyrants in power. You will not take our freedom, not without a fight. And I don't mean a physical fight. When you physically fight, you give them everything they want. The world is watching, even more so now. You've just put it out to the entire globe. This is the biggest promo for the 26th of October. I came back a week early because I thought they'd do this. I didn't have to come back till the day before. I come back a week early so you get to watch this video. Get yourself to London. If not, just for me, for all the men and women, you get to hear my story. I'm sitting here now. I've got a platform. Do you know how many men are suffering right now in jail? Do you know I get the phone calls from their families of what they're going through? They're getting terrorized on Muslim-dominated wings. He's literally handed over law-abiding, working hard British men and women who are angry with their country. And he's fed them to the wolves. And thank you to you, because I know that last time it's tens of thousands of pounds to get a top KC. And unfortunately, I need a top KC because the other side always put their best guns out. So I hope we win that case. And I hope to be released from prison in the coming days. And I hope to be part of a date of history, the 26th of October. So get outside that jail, make sure that they hear, when they phone home, of the biggest gathering of British patriots this country's ever seen.
Well, we got to remember, too, that stuff that happens in England and Europe area and Australia, sooner or later it's going to come to us.
Right.
If we don't do something as Americans to stop it. See, we're lucky because each one of our states is like one of their countries. Okay. We have our own constitution, our own laws, our own governor, all our state representatives and our people that work in those states and our cops, police officers, paramedics, firemen, teachers. We got all the same things in each state. Okay. So that's the one thing that separates us from all of them. Okay. Is that they have one person in charge of their whole country. We don't have that. We have a president, but he can't just come into your state and push you around, because we have a constitution, okay? And each of our states have that. So California is already showing you that if your kid wants to have their breast removed at 11, you can't do anything about it if you live in California, because your kid is being told whatever at school, so they don't listen to you now. They think that they need to transition into something that they weren't born as.
Right.
So they've taken that away from you. And we have a few people already in jail right now for praying in front of an abortion clinic.
Yep.
Okay, we have people in January 6th still sitting in jail that's lost their homes, their families, their health, everything. They've lost their jobs, and they're still sitting there. But this is supposed to be America, the free and the brave. It doesn't sound that much different than what you just heard Tommy talking about. They're putting people in prison in England because they said something on the internet that they didn't agree with. Okay. I say tons of stuff that I get in trouble because I might lose my channel. Okay. But they think about me saying something and then come and taking my house and everything, taking everything I've ever worked for my whole life and putting me in prison. That's not a happy thought for me. That isn't something I want to ever see our country go through. And I don't think any of you guys want to see that either. So we've got to start paying attention and listening to what's going on, and not just in your state or just in your community, but for our whole country. You know, you can't go there and do anything yet for that other state, but by you sharing the information, somebody might come up with an idea. Hey, you know, we haven't tried this. Or other states, governors might start speaking out and saying, hey, you can't, why are you doing that to your people? You know, that's communism. You know, that's not what America stands on. That kind of stuff. That's how we're going to make a difference. Just like you said, don't go out in the streets and fight. Go out with a smile on your face and say, see, we have the numbers that we need, and we're going to win in court. I don't care if it takes 2 years or whatever. Everyone keeps doing it, helps funding these people so they can go to court and fight this stuff. Just like what the My Pillow guy's been doing, Rudy Giuliani's been doing, and lots of other people. Now you got Elon Musk. He's fighting too. And look at him. This is the guy that's so rich, he doesn't have to give a shit about none of us. He doesn't have to do shit. Okay. He's got that much money. But why is he doing it? Because he has children. And what is he going to leave his kids? What is our country going to look like in 10 years? Just 10 years from now, when a lot of little kids are going to be teenagers by then. What are we leaving them when it's their turn to vote? Is there going to be even a vote available for them? I mean, what are we going to leave them if we don't fight for it right now? You know, what we're going to do this year is going to affect the next 5, 10, 15 years or more.
Exactly. Right.
So that's what I want everybody to think about. I really want you to think about it. Think about what it is you can do, even if it's just sharing links, making a couple phone calls, talking to your friends and family about things that you saw or you read, and hey, are you prepared? You know, who are you voting for? Do you know what this means? Do you know what that means? Go down your ballot and read and see if there's anything that you don't know about. You know, maybe they say that it's medical marijuana, but maybe it isn't. Maybe it's something else. Make sure you read everything before you put your check mark or your fill in the circle, because you might not be voting the right way. You might be voting the opposite of what you think you're voting for. So please research it, because sometimes it says for or against. And for something doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be getting it. That might mean you're for getting rid of it. See?
Exactly.
If you're at a polling station, you don't know which one, asked for someone to come and explain which is for what, which is for that. That they'll help you. That's why they're there. They will help you make the right decision by not telling you what to vote, but they'll explain what it means if you vote yes or no on something. So just do all that, you know, do anything you can to improve what's around you. Because if you can just help one person, that one person might be the one that's going to help the next person, and pass it on to others. I'm doing this show because it's my way of trying to get the truth out for people to read, listen, and find out more. because if you shut your mind off and nothing's going in, you're not helping yourself in the long run. You're hurting yourself in your future and your family's future by not wanting to hear anything new. Okay. I'm not saying I'm all right on everything. You might read it and look it up and say, oh, I think it's all bullarchy. Okay. Which is great. But what if it's true? You know,
Right.
some of these things, like when Tucker had Alex Jones on his show, remember how shocked he was? He was like, I have shocked that almost every single thing you've ever talked about on your show has been true. It came true. And he's like, yeah, whatever. You know, it wasn't shocking to Alex Jones, but you know, it's not for everybody because he's very boisterous and stuff. And a lot of people don't like that. I mean, a lot of people love Joe Rogan. I don't really like him. The moment he said, I'm for the burn, I feel the burn. When he said he was voting for Bernie Sanders, I just lost all respect for the guy. I'm sorry. You can't one day say you're going to do this. I believe in this and socialism is the way to go. And then the next day say, oh, I'm for freedom. I'm sorry. It's just hard for me to choke down that pill. So it's just the way I feel about it. But what did you think about all the stuff that we talked about tonight, Ruben? Are you there? I think you fell asleep, you guys. Do I have that kind of voice? Are you awake, Ruben?
I'm here.
Okay.
No. Joe Rogan's podcast just dropped,
Mhm.
and everyone's talking about it right now. I'm like monitoring it right
Yeah, because
now.
Trump was supposed to be on it.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
Kamala Harris's Houston rally is a bomb. He had
Okay,
Beyonce there.
Yeah, Beyonce was supposed to be there tonight. How
Well,
was the one with Bruce Springsteen? How did that turn out?
People are complaining about it too. He's old, doesn't sound good, and all that stuff. So it's like, you know, exact opposite. And then there were audible boos when Kamala Harris is giving her speech. It's just collapsing.
It's awful. I mean, I feel bad for him, but I don't at the same time. I'm so thirsty. I'm having to take a bunch of sinus pills because my eyes are puffy, and my allergies. My eyes have just been itching out of the water. You know, just driving me crazy. I just want to take one out and put it in one of those ball washers at the golf course, clean it, put it back in, because that's what it feels like. It feels like it's all scratchy, and I don't know. It's terrible, but that was basically everything that I had pulled out that I saw that I thought was important, because I didn't want to talk about all the Diddy stuff again. Okay, because everybody's talking about it, and I really do think if they mean business and they really do prosecute some of these people, it would make a huge difference. It's sad to think that all these young people, but it's true. I've seen it. I've been on movie sets, and you see a parent bring their kid and they leave.
Right.
They leave their kid on the set with whoever the handler is, and then they go do their whatever it is they're going to be doing. And I would never do that. If you want to put your kid in entertainment, there's nothing wrong with your kid being an actor or a performer or a singer or any of those things, but be a parent. Don't leave your kids with strangers.
Yeah, exactly.
If you don't have an aunt or an uncle or a grandma or grandpa that wants to help take turns and, you know, swap off or whatever it is while you're getting your kid into these things, commercials, print ads, runway, or whatever it is, make sure you don't get them involved in it unless you're planning on being there for your kid. Because some of the stories that I've read about Justin Bieber and some of Usher, he was young too, I think, when he first met up with Diddy, and a bunch of others, and the people just left him with them. They did, like with Michael Jackson, when they did that whole trial. I still don't think Michael Jackson was this horrible monster, because some of the kids that they said, you know, like Corey Feldman and a few others said that he never did anything to them. He's like a big kid, basically. But the fact that parents would leave their kid with a total stranger, that's like this. Okay, let me give you this scenario. You're staying in a hotel. Okay, you got to stay there a week because you're waiting for your house to open because you just bought a house or something, right? Or a condo. And you got one kid, and you're at this thing, and you're out smoking a cigarette on the balcony, and you meet someone, a guy. Okay, it's a guy. He's there, and he tells you that he's in the middle of moving out of his house. He's looking for an apartment. And the next day, you go over to his apartment or his room, and you say, "Hey, will you watch my 7-year-old while I go to work?" Would you do that?
No.
I don't know anyone that would do that, but people do stuff like that. And that's the sad fact. You're taking your child and put him right into who knows hands. You don't know anything about this person. I would never do that. I wouldn't even do that to my pet. You know what I mean? If I don't think my pet's going to get food and water and walked and treated with and petted and whatever, why would you want to leave your pet with somebody that you don't think is going to take care of, that hates, let's say they hate cats, and you take them to leave them with that person. They leave them in the box the whole time they're there. You know, you'd be upset about it, but you'll leave your kid? I don't know. To me, it's just shocking to me that anyone would do that. And I hope that none of you guys do that. And that's what I tell people all the time. Stop trying to be your parent, the parent, your kid's best friend. Be their parent. That's it. Be their parent. That's what you're supposed to be. Have a good relationship with your kid. Talk to them. Tell them you're upset with them, you know, and why you're upset. Explain that to them. And then listen to what they have to say. And see if you can come together and come up with ways so that you don't fight, you know, so you can talk to each other, because your kid should want to go to you first over anything that they've got going on in their life. Even if they're embarrassed or whatever, they know mom's going to always love them, or dad is always going to love them no matter what, no matter how embarrassing something stupid that they've done. We were all kids. We did some dumb shit. I'm telling you right now. I would never have thought of not going to my mom. I mean, I just had a really good relationship with my mom. And I think all my sisters did too. And I had a great relationship with my dad when he was around, because he was in the military, so he was gone a lot. But it's just that we need to bring back families again, you know, where families eat dinner at the table, you know, not sitting there on your phone or sitting there watching TV, when you could be talking to each other about your day, what happened, you know, how was school, or did you go fishing, or whatever it was, whatever is going on. That should be your time to be a family, you know, for that short amount of time that you're sitting around the dining room table. And then when you're done, all of you get up and take the dishes in the kitchen, you know, make that a family ritual, something, you know. It's family time. You know, we used to play games. We used to do all kinds of fun stuff. But that was before cell phones were all big and popular, you know, stuff like that. There's lots of good TV shows, and we would pick one show a week where we all sat as a family and did that. But I really believe that the reason that Trump is soaring the way he is, that I believe he's going to do really, really gangbuster if we can keep them from cheating. And I've been pushing that. So I don't have to work the polls, but it's too late now, because they've already got people now to stop the cheat, basically. Because if you're sitting there, they're not going to cheat in front of you, because you might be the one person that starts running your mouth or taking out your cell phone and videoing them. And they don't want that, because there's too much attention brought on it. So they can't do it this time. They're not going to be able to get away with it. But I really do believe that he's going to win, because we're changed. We've opened our eyes, and we're realizing they're trying to tear families apart with all this transgender stuff and mutilating their kids' bodies and getting kids to hate their parents, you know, that kind of stuff. And lots of parents that took their kids out of school and doing homeschooling. Why? Because you care about your kids' future. That's why we're doing it. We're making sacrifices for our families. And we wouldn't do that if we didn't want a good family life and your child to grow up and be able to have their own home and take care of themselves. And we can do that. We got to get Trump back in there, but we got to make sure everybody that we picked on that ballot that said that we're going to do this, we're going to close the border and blah, blah, whatever for your state, make sure they do it. Hold them accountable. Because if we could take our states back, we'll take back the federal government. That's how it works.
Yep.
It really does. So
Exactly.
that's all I wanted to say. Is there anything you'd like to say, Ruben?
No. Just the fact that basically, you know, wanted to put it out there for everybody out there, as I've been looking for work since March of last year, 2023, that is. And I have an opportunity for 95% there, according to the recruiter that I talked to today. And it had 3 rounds of interviews. I thought there was 2 more, but maybe not 2 more. Maybe it's going to happen next week. I'll have it's a contract. I may have it. So just send some good wishes out there on that. And also I've been, you know, putting out articles on X. so I can basically I'll put that out. Just follow me on X. I have my link down there at Ruben Haynes. Find me there.
Mhm.
Every day I put videos on X, and I've been putting out articles. Basically, I basically give a speech, then I take that speech and then I talk about certain things. I talk about talk about Bill of Rights. Our freedoms going away and all that stuff. So
Mhm.
hey,
Hello. We were
Hello.
just about finished. We're about to
Sorry.
close up.
Sorry.
It's okay. But we were just saying goodnight to everybody on the show. And thank you for coming and hanging out with us.
Yeah,
And
I'll have to catch the next one, I guess.
yeah, I'm sorry. But I wish you could have. I wish I would have known you were going to come. I shared the link in the shit show chat, but because Orange had, I hadn't heard from him, so I was worried about him. I'll have to send him some messages on Discord and stuff. But yeah, we talked about a lot of things, but most of it's about why I think a lot of people have decided to start voting for Trump, okay, and not voting for Harris because she really is not
Kamala.
qualified to be president and deal with all the problems that we have outside of our borders, let alone even take care of the stuff that's inside the border. You know what I mean? She hasn't done anything this 4 years.
Well, and I think people are waking up to how much cheaper their life was when Trump was
Yeah.
in office.
Mhm.
We didn't spend $40 to eat one meal.
Mhm.
I mean, it's just sad.
But again, what's so funny from my perspective, it's not just the fact that it's the Biden-Harris administration. It's the spending that Congress is doing, and there's culpability on both Republicans and Democrats. It's the deep state, it's the globalists, the corporatists that are doing this. And I talked about this for many years. Yeah, you're going to have coffee cost $50. It's going to come. It's going to have to happen because they're spending too much damn money. They have to basically start manufacturing everything back here in the States. And that's that's the thing we have to do. All of our drugs are made in China. Why? Make them here. All of our cars are made in why are they built in Mexico? Build them
Mhm.
here. Manufacturing, you have all this land. All this federal land should be released. Trump on X or on Joe Rogan's podcast is talking about the fact that not just no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security. He's talking about right now eliminating the IRS, which you can do.
I don't think there should be a tax on Social Security. Those people paid their dues, didn't they? I mean, didn't
Yes.
they?
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. I'm currently.
Yeah, I'd say so.
I'm currently disabled, and I had and I've been disabled for a bit, but I haven't felt the idea that I needed to ask for help. But basically in March of last year, I got laid off and the economy sucks. I'm trying to find work still and nothing. So I've been looking for work since March of 2023.
Mm-hmm.
And we're in October and I may have a contract coming up. But again, everyone's waiting to see what the election outcome is. So if the election goes the other way, then I'm probably out of work. But mine was approved because again, on paper, I'm extremely disabled and have a very crippling disease. It's very rare. So yeah, but again, and it was approved, but payments for disability start in February. But I need money now, and I since my wife passed away in 2019, and I have the disability. Yeah, I'm and I'm still smiling, and I have all this stuff. So I'm waiting for the payment because I actually have to leave this place because I've been here long enough and I can't stay here any longer. I got to go. So I'm trying to find a place to go temporarily. So I'm looking forward to this job finally, happening if it does. And they said it's 5% in the bag. So it's like, if Trump wins, then it's even more idea because manufacturing will start coming back. And people will start wanting to work again and to produce. And we're going to get rid of all the migrants that are here illegally, and then all the giving away all the money to people. Real Americans deserve the money. Again, you're right. I paid into the system, and then I'm not getting anything until
all our lives.
Yeah,
I mean, I've been working since I was 12 years old, my paper route. You know what I mean? And then from there on.
Yeah,
up,
and they
you
look at
know?
that. They look at that. They basically you have to work for a certain amount of time,
Yeah.
and then they basically calculate it, and they go if you worked the equivalent of 40 years, which I have
Mhm.
already done that theoretically based upon the actuary tables, you get the
Yeah.
money. So I'm getting the money. Or not now, but in February I'm going to get the money. But again, I'm just trying to figure it all out now. But then I still want to work if I can. I'm doing that,
Right.
and that's the thing. And that's another thing, wholesome. Because again, my intention now, even in these
Mhm.
dark times, I want to get married again. I want to have a family
I
and
hope I
have
don't
it
offend
lots
you.
of and have kids.
I hope I
And then
don't
going,
offend you, but I'll pray for you.
no, fine, that's fine. Thank you.
Yeah.
The one thing we talked about is what you were just saying. You know, since the end of the Reagan, well, kind of the end of the Carter era, like I'm in Pennsylvania.
Mhm.
Um, I,
Oh,
I'm,
okay.
um,
What area? What part?
we Southwest.
Oh, okay.
I'm in the sticks.
Well, that's
Um,
good.
Oh,
but
you're south of
I think it's good if you're in
south
the
of Pittsburgh.
country.
Yeah.
Anyone
yeah,
that's in the rural areas, you are going to have a little more time to prepare if something does start happening. You know what I
they're not
mean?
even gonna get close. But
So,
we started, during World War II, two cities were number 5 and number 6
mhm.
on the Japanese bomb list. And the first one was Johnstown, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Second one was Pittsburgh. So Johnstown was actually they had what's called the shell plant. They were
Hmm.
actually making all the ammunition for the tanks and something else. I forget exactly what, but that was a major thing if Japan could get over our border, which of course they never did. But you know, um, the other scary thing is the 5 countries that have just pulled out of the petrodollar. It's crushing us, and people don't realize how bad it's crushing us.
Hmm.
We just talked about this a little earlier, but
Yeah.
I don't. You guys want to be done, so I don't want to get into that right now. But
Well, I'd love
yeah,
to have you come back and talk about it. I mean,
yeah,
because
absolutely.
it's important that people know what's going on, especially since we have the Smith-Mundt Act where, they don't have to tell us shit.
Right.
So, and the only way you're going to find anything is by meeting someone that actually knows anything. And
Right.
then they'll give you some stuff. You can research that and then you can find out more stuff. And to me, that's really the only way you get the truth anymore because we
No, we
don't
got.
have, we used to have, didn't we used to have this something called headline news where 24
Oh
hours a
yeah.
day you could turn it on
Yes.
and all they did was tell you the news. They didn't put in commentary and all that shit. They just said this, so, and that, blah, blah, blah. And you went, wow, that's
Yeah.
interesting. And
And
then
there
you
was
come in
Weather
and get
Channel
back on
commercials.
later on and you got all new news again. But that's all they did.
Yep.
So I don't know what happened to that. Why did they stop doing it?
I think right around the Smith-Mundt Act is when that ended.
Yeah, it sucks. I want to hear the truth. I don't want to hear a bunch of ladies sitting around cackling while they're drinking coffee, talking about how that woman over there, she's a bitch or whatever. It's just bullshit. I hate that crap. But yeah, we're about to close down. It's almost 11 o'clock here where I'm at. 11 p.m. And my allergies are really bad right now. I mean, I had to do some stuff with my chickens. I won't get into that, but and I'm allergic to them.
So get an
So
allergy pill.
it is a good, yeah, I have terrible allergies. But just want to say thank you to everybody. I really appreciate y'all coming. And I want to show a video real quick before we leave because next Thursday I want to have a special Halloween special. And if
Oh
you
yeah.
have any scary tales or weird stories, abduction stories or anything like that, creepy, fun, and you want to dress up in a costume or whatever and come on the show and hang out with me and tell your story or whatever, it would be great. So I'm sending that out. Just send me a DM. But here, get ready for a spine-chilling
Yeah, what did I
Halloween
do?
night with me, Janet from Another Planet, and my guests as we share eerie encounters and unsettling tales of ghosts and ghouls and all things that go bump in the night. It's an evening filled with stuff of nightmares.
perfect for All Hallows Eve, Halloween night at 8 Central. See you there.
That was my little promo for my Halloween special in my true form, my alien form.
Is that
So
your,
I think it's fun. That's going to be my costume, but
is that on your
it's going to be
page?
fun. Huh?
Is that on your page? I'll share it.
Yeah, it's on my YouTube channel, and I'll put it on. I've been sharing it on my page too, but I just wanted everybody to see it, and I'll keep sharing it every day until Halloween. I've only had 3 people. That's it. 3 people that said, I got a creepy story, and I don't even know what the story is, so hopefully they'll have something. But I'm going to be looking up some other weird stuff. We were talking about it earlier about how much a spirit, your soul might weigh, things like that. Some creepy stories about stuff like that. But I'm going to close with my favorite video right now, which is about Trump. 2024. So everybody have a great night, and thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Good night. Hey, nice to meet you, Ruben.
Yes, sir.
Bye-bye.
Obama will go down as perhaps the worst president in the history of the United States! Exclamation point at real Donald Trump. Well, at real Donald Trump, at least I will go down as a president.
I know people have talked to you about whether or not you want to run. Would you ever? Never got so bad, I would never want to rule it out totally.
A new world order. These allegations are false. Weapons of mass destruction. The USA Patriot Act. The blueprint for large corporations.
We once were, we are no longer a Christian nation.
Donald Trump confirmed that he is considering a run in 2016.
Do it.
I am officially running for President of the United States.
He will never be President of the United States.
Donald Trump will never be elected President of the United States.
People are watching these results come in.
We are going to make this decision now. Donald Trump will be the 45th President of the United States.
Does it ever seem to you that President Trump has done more than any president in modern history?
And in the 10 years I've been involved in politics, I've never seen an administration hit the ground running like this.
I could spend the rest of the hour laying out the accomplishments under the Trump presidency, despite everything thrown at him.
Market just had its 12th straight record close.
Taking action to save as many kids as they can.
We were energy independent under the Trump administration.
More Americans reported being employed than ever.
Helping those who have served our country in the military to get access to mental health care.
The Great American Outdoors Act is the largest single piece of legislation to support our national parks and public lands.
Created more than 7 million good-paying jobs.
Websites can be held liable in court for having sex trafficking content.
The Abraham Accords, which for any other president would have been multiple peace prizes.
America did not enter into a foreign war.
The employment rate in the U.S. fell to 3.5%.
The First Step Act eases federal sentencing for nonviolent offenders.
Increased funding for historically black colleges and universities.
Allows terminally ill patients easier access to experimental drugs.
Kept the inflation rate low.
Honored with the Bipartisan Justice Award.
Had a massive MS-13 gang problem. 3.9% is the unemployment rate. Requiring airports to provide lactation rooms for breastfeeding mothers.
Middle class family income increased nearly $6,000.
A dramatic escalation in his crackdown on illegal immigration.
An advocate for educational choice.
Tariffs on Mexico and Canada.
An act preventing animal cruelty and torture.
Taking out Baghdadi, the head of ISIS, Soleimani, the Iranian general.
Save Our Seas Act commitment to environmental issues.
We're saying Merry Christmas again.
Community development in low-income urban and rural communities.
Help us to remember the importance of fighting off tyranny.
Pulling out of UNESCO, the World Health Organization, the Paris Climate Accords, reassessing NATO and the United Nations.
Stood up for Christianity and the Constitution more than any president in American modern history.
We are stopping the attacks on Judeo-Christian values.